know what I mean? Who knew that a catchphrase from a funny white man like Jim Varney would just catch on like fire in the late 80s, early 90s?
I think we should all know that that was going to happen. Imagine it. A man like Jim Varney, capable of acting a pillar. I always loved how he always go there. A thespian at heart, but a man at he'll always monologue like that.
I gotta say, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a 3BG episode. How you going, D? How's it going, D?
It's going fine, Christopher. It's going very fine.
Yes,
So everybody that
subscribe.
Exactly, like, click, subscribe. Where's DJ Sue? He's moving.
Yes,
He's moving.
yes,
He's
doing
currently
he's adulting, as we say.
Yeah, he's currently moving into another place. There's going to be a lot of this year. There's going to be
a lot of maneuvering. The first 6 months are going to be a lot of maneuvering, and then we switch over to back to schedule.
Yeah, it's going to be weird, especially we're going to have to deal with we're still dealing with our cons like usual. We're early this year with the cons,
which is great actually. This works out for me because I get married in May. I don't have to deal with BlurCon. It's like, oh, okay, cool. BlurCon's already done. AwesomeCon's done. We're straight.
Dang, are we doing AwesomeCon this year?
AwesomeCon's first week of April. We're straight.
Still doing AwesomeCon.
Well, here's the thing. We're only there because of BlurCon being there. Otherwise, we wouldn't be there. You know this.
That's what I'm saying, man. I'm just saying. There's there's going to be a whole lot of people there. Making a longer line than it should be just to see a not to say average, but B-rated star. And I'm going, do y'all really need that autograph?
But sir, LeVar Burton's going to be there, and we love Black excellence. Come on now.
I feel like
Georgie LaForge, sir. It's Georgie LaForge.
I swear to God, bro. I already know what's going to happen. Oh, these black people waiting to see him. AwesomeCon. No, Negroes, no, we get
Trump's
to talk
America.
To first. This is Trump's America. We get to talk to our favorite black first before all of you.
Michael Doran comes out of nowhere in his wharf gear, like, I beg to differ.
I thought now they do the same thing to him. One of the funniest things ever, and I'm glad Michael Doran said something about it because I always questioned it. Why is it that every time there's like a new threat on Next Generation, they will always have to size themselves up to Worf and Worf jobs? Like
sometimes they'll cut.
I ain't never seen him fight.
You know what? I'm thinking of Deep Space Nine. Deep Space Nine eras where he was flexing.
All of a sudden Worf fought back. Yeah, but no, not Next Generation.
First off, you know why Deep Space Nine he flexed? Because he had a black captain that knew the assignment. It was like, hey, Worf.
Didn't he have his own ship at the time? Didn't he have a separate ship?
No, he was part of the Defiance, which popped up in the Next Generation movies. Mm-hmm. But like after that, I think it was like right after Next Generation movies stopped, and he was full tilt on Deep Space Nine. He was like all in as being the enforcer.
I could have swore they made him a captain.
Yeah, he wasn't. He wasn't like a captain.
Not star the show captain, but he was a captain.
Yeah, he was captain of his own little group and stuff, but he was like the enforcer on Deep Space Nine. Like, you need somebody to punch somebody in the face. Worf, get him. And he's like, all right,
Worf,
cool.
Yeah, that's the thing that killed me because Worf didn't do none of that, but that's the thing that killed me. Like, because I was talking to my sister not too long ago about Dr. King Day passed, and and I was just like, I'm finally glad y'all real like a lot of us, and me included, but I knew this. I didn't know this until I would say sometime early in the 2010s. I knew actually the truth about Martin Luther King, and all the rest of that. And what upsets me every year is that white people like to scoot out their definition of what Dr. King was.
Don't you mean the CIA? The people that killed him.
I'm sorry, the FBI did that.
Oh, the CIA is
CIA, like, whoa,
whoa there, buddy.
We were following Malcolm, but no, we ain't got nothing to do with.
We might have, had something to do with JFK, but we didn't go talk about that.
Oh yeah, they had everything to do with that. Lale was behind that, man.
But Martin though, FBI, they got the audacity of that shit.
Yeah. So, all right. But
anyways, but Jim Varney. Let's talk about Jim Varney for a second here.
Chris,
I felt
he had to be the first, at least for me. At least for me, he was probably one of the first genuine white men that I liked as a kid.
Okay, see, I wanted to get into this. Okay, again, mantra of 3BG when we started, we always our thing was that, like, doing movies that white people think black people don't watch, right? But I always felt like as a child, and I don't know if you felt this way. I always felt as a child that I could never talk to another black person about the Ernest movies.
Yeah.
Outside of my cousins, right? Like your family is family because you all are
Because
at
you
the same
all
age.
saw the tape
Yeah,
together.
so you all watched it, you enjoyed it. But like when you go outside of that in like the neighborhood, right? There was no fucking way I was going to talk to some other black kid, especially in PG County, about Ernest. Ain't no fucking way that was going to happen. Ain't no way.
So just come out and just say, D, I know you did the same thing. You're right. I watched. Okay, when it comes to the Ernest movies, I watched a bunch of them a lot of times, and I forgot that I watched this movie in particular.
Oh, I watched Ernest Goes to Jail a lot.
So Ernest Goes to Camp is probably the one. Ernest Goes to Camp and Ernest Goes to Africa are probably the two Ernest movies I saw the least. But I saw Slam. But yeah, because one of my favorite Christmas movies is actually Ernest Saves Christmas.
Yeah, Ernest Saves Christmas is funny.
That's actually legit one of my favorite Christmas movies. And I saw Ernest Scared Stupid all the time.
Oh, yes.
You know what I mean? And the older I got, it even made it better that Eartha Kitt was in the movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just totally forgot that I watched this movie all the time. It didn't hit me until I started seeing the shenanigans going down. Like, oh, I did watch this all the time. So that being said, Chris, what movie was Ernest? Slam Dunk Ernest. I watched that a jillion times because I don't know where my dad rented it from, but we had it for an entire week. And I was getting my money's worth out of it. And I watched it a bunch of times, and I wanted to tell everybody about the movie so bad. I didn't, because somebody recently said the NBA Jam was little kid shit and ain't real basketball. And it punked me out of talking about this movie to anyone. So yes, there was this I would say this tiny fear that I am glad that Gen Z and everybody underneath us don't have to deal with.
Yeah.
But we had to deal with that shit of that's too white.
Yes. Because for me, like what made it Jim Varney funny to me is that, like, I remember, because I'm gonna be real, Jim Varney to me came off like he felt like a very mid like middle of the country type white guy that it appealed to like the Midwest sort of folks.
He was a California. He was actually California.
I know he was from California.
All of his stuff was, everything he did was West Coast. It was more West Coast than anything else.
But it felt like middle America kind of shit. Like if I go to like Idaho, they'll be like, "Oh shit, I love Jim Varney." Like that kind of.
Exactly.
If that makes sense.
He speaks to the common man. And actually, I think he said it. Ernest P. Royal, gateway to the common man, or some crap like that.
It was that shit that had me rolling as a kid, because it's just those monologues that he did with his Ernest character. It was funny to me, and it still is funny to me.
I take it back. The first white man that I actually seen that I actually trusted, loved, and all the rest of that. And I shed a tear of legit sadness when he passed away not too long ago, was Paul Reubens.
Yes.
Pee-wee. I grew up watching Pee-wee.
Who we found out recently, he was actually gay.
No.
I know, but everybody else, he was, I guess,
I don't believe he's gay. He was Hollywood gay. He wasn't gay. He was Hollywood gay. What's Hollywood gay? What's Hollywood gay? D, some of you mags, easy. He put it in his mouth. He just didn't commit to it. You know what I mean?
Melancholy. Melancholy.
Yeah, I don't want to keep doing this.
What's my motivation?
Exactly. But Paul Reubens, of course, man. We talk about Pee-wee, and one day we're probably going to do about Pee-wee's Big Adventure. We're probably going to talk about that one day. Yeah. I'm not going to promise nobody on that, but we might talk about that.
But you're right about that. Paul Reubens was definitely like Jim Varney. It was just funny shit.
But yeah, that's the funny thing. And I'm going to give you a juxtaposition on this. I see him, and then when you see, and I have a picture of it, and then when you see Ernest's house, It was his house. Yeah. When I see his house,
Yeah.
I think to myself, "Oh my God, he's redneck Pee Wee.
Mm-hmm.
He's just a redneck version of Pee Wee. He has big, stupid machines. He makes big, stupid
That
noises.
is a very iconic outfit, by the way. It's the most basic
He's
shit ever.
first off, long sleeve shirt. Now.
He's worn short sleeve gray in Ernest Goes to
Thank you.
Camp.
I was just about to put it out there. The real ones know that he actually had short sleeves. That's one of the DLCs is the short
Yes,
sleeves.
DLC.
But that being said, Ernest
Every outfit in all the Ernest movies is DLC.
is a different one.
Ernest in the army, Ernest in the army, he had that same fucking outfit on, except it was BDUs. It was fucking hilarious. I'm like, commit to the bit. I love it.
You have to commit to the bit, yeah. Even what he's wearing in jail, like this right here, what he's wearing in jail, he's still wearing the vest and the shirt and the hat. He's still committed to it. You have to do that.
That shit's insane. And look, I want people to understand.
Hold on. Then yes, Robot Chicken probably did the best. It was a doctor talking to Goofy. Well, as you know, we as doctors used to say people like you were eccentric, funny, loud, even a little bit goofy. Oh yeah, but we know what it is. It's actually autism. Gosh. Okay. Same thing is for Ernest. Ernest is clearly autistic.
Okay. Real quick. I love us as Black people that when we go back and watch older movies, we start clicking on things that was like, oh my God, how did I not know this? Barry Gordy's The Last Dragon. Somebody pointed out on rewatch, oh my God, Bruce Leroy is autistic.
Yeah, most of y'all
because the scene that he pointed out was, here you have this good-looking Black man. Vandy is more or less telling him, I'll suck your dick. And his first response is, that's cool, but I can show you this karate kick. And I was like, oh my God, that is autistic as shit.
Back to the Kung Fu.
It's like, hey, whoa. That blew my fucking mind. I was like, how did I not catch this as an older, just because you just assume he's just a shy guy, right? And doesn't get cues. That's the only thing I assume. But just that autistic, it's like, he is autistic.
Basketball players are the same way, right? Basketball players are the same way. Like, but they get girls all the time. Yes. And once they done rat-a-tat-tatting, it's like, why don't we cuddle? I got a game tomorrow. Do you see this? We
just had a conversation
at this specific time. Have to be at the stadium with this.
We just had a conversation offline about him. I feel that's Kawhi.
I don't think it's it's actually the ones that I think it's the psychopaths. I think the psychopaths.
Anthony
which might be. Kobe wasn't autistic. He was actually a legit psychopath. Like if he wasn't playing basketball,
he got married. I don't know, but hey,
he would have killed somebody. Jordan was autistic. I think Jordan was actually autistic. We just haven't. I haven't figured out.
You see how he gambles? That's autistic shit right there.
No. See, if he gambled and remember Jordan.
He lost more than he won gambling.
That's what I'm saying. He lost more than he won. Autistic people don't lose in gambling because they know.
I've seen Rain Man. All right.
I seen Rain Man. That's so messed up. People bringing their autistic family members up there, thinking that he count cows. Like, no, that's not the superpower he got. Yeah.
Also, no white listeners. 3BG is not doing Rain Man. I don't know. I'm just saying that.
I don't think we'll ever do Rain Man.
I like Tom Cruise. Rain Man was just one of those like.
It's a good movie.
It's a good movie, but it's like.
It's like this.
Forrest Gump is the closest we're going to get to an autistic-esque movie, all right?
Forrest Gump was fun talking about, too. Let's put it this way. We haven't talked about... We're just now going to talk about Soldier Story. What make you think I'm going to, like, you know how long it will take me to go, like, hey, I think now's the time to talk about Rain Man during this 50th anniversary or some crap like that. I ain't about to do all
If that ever happens, I will have a kid in my lap podcasting. That's when that shit like
like, dog, man. Look, I'm sorry, some Tevin put up. I'm gonna put it up later. Tevin, how you doing today? But
but
yeah,
no, but yeah, we're right about to Jim Varney. But like, he was one of those white comedians that he hit that wheelhouse of my comedic sensibilities that even hits to this day. Because like, when you have somebody that can do goofy stuff that just works, because there's goofy stuff that just doesn't work, right?
Yeah.
But there's goofy shit like this, it just works because he just knows the comedic timing of everything.
Let me put it to you this way: they tried to do this with Larry the Cable Guy, and what they found out was he's not the person to do it. And the reason why
it's up and down,
because not everybody can do Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
To do Looney Tunes in real life, it actually takes a little bit of skill. It takes timing.
Mm-hmm.
You have to know when to change your voice. You have to know when and when not to mug at the camera. Like, good example, when we did it years ago, and listen to the podcast if you hear, we did Bushwhack.
Mm-hmm.
They were really trying to get Daniel Stern to be that kind of character, to mug at the camera, to do all the wacky stuff.
Because they saw him in Home Alone. I think that's what it was. Home Alone is where they thought, oh, he could do Ricky stuff.
But you know, it could have been because of that, because that was written by John Hughes, or it could have been a bunch of other stuff with that, but it just didn't work out for him. Now, with a lot of people, and I said this during the podcast, take out Daniel Stern and put in Jim Carrey. How different does that movie plays out? It plays out much better, much smoother. Some people can play Looney Tunes. Not everybody can do it. And the reason why Larry the Cable Guy is just meh with a lot of people when he does any of his live action is because he's not really a silly character you can really work with. Outside of saying "get her done," and he's more better with his voice.
Oh, that's why I like his. That's why Mater in Cars was like the breakout hit after the first movie, because Larry the Cable Guy found his shtick, and that happens to some actors too, where it's like they're not good on camera per se consistently, but you put them on a voice for either a fucking cartoon show that people barely know about, or something like Cars, and it blows up, off to the fucking races.
Jane Lynch, is it Jane Lynch I'm thinking of?
Yeah, Jane Lynch.
That's all she does. Because even though she can act in front of the camera, I think her voice works way better than her. Good example of that, another person who we know that can act, and we mentioned him not too long ago, is Hank Azaria. Hank Azaria can actually really act. Get in that booth.
Yeah. Do some voices. Do
the voices. You're not going. So it just happens with Jim. But like I said, not everybody can do wacky stuff, and Jim Varney just knew how to do it, man. Whether it's his time on stage, and a lot of people say a lot of stage actors can do that, and that's what he really was.
Kind of how Carrot Top still appeals to people in a weird way. Like, Carrot Top ain't in my wheelhouse, but like I get what he's doing and why that resonates with folks in such a way that even to this day it just works.
I think because Carrot Top, and because he is in legendary status, but let's just be real, he bombed a lot. So I think with him bombing, with him knowing that some jokes ain't going to land with his humor, he's developed a way to be funny if a joke goes right into a brick wall. And and every comedian said it. Sometimes it don't work at all. Like, ooh, having a tough set.
There you go.
Sometimes nobody gonna laugh, but some people know how to get around that. Now, like I said, when it comes to Jim Varney, the one thing that really sticks out for me with him is the fact that, okay, let's take all the characters out of the room. He still is talking to the camera. And not only is he talking to the camera, because his whole shtick was he was talking to his buddy Vern, who was always the POV of the camera. Like, Vern, I'm in here. I'm going to talk to you. Wait, no, Vern, come back here.
Look at me. Look at me right now. I actually remember those. I remember those commercials because
watch this, Vern. Watch this, Vern. See what I got?
No, here's the thing. So people realize too, also, because Jim Varney owned the Ernest character, he actually licensed that character out to do a multitude of things, like multitude of commercials. I think, didn't he do one with the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders?
I don't know. I can't tell you, but I know he did one for Roy Rogers. He did for Mellow Yellow. He
Yep.
did for a bunch of stuff out in the West Coast.
Oh yeah.
And that's really where he got, like I said, again, that's really where he got his name from. Him doing commercials in California. And if I didn't speak in California, Arizona, Nevada, that area. And like I said, that's really where he got his start from, because he was just, it was always the same character. Like Vern, we need to go down to Carrollton Auto to give you the best of your.
This dude was eating.
What?
Eating. Well, people don't really. So here's inside baseball when it comes to commercials.
4,000.
When it comes to commercials, you can, as an actor, you can eat check-wise off commercials because they play throughout the whole, and you kind of get a year or two on a commercial that you do, depending on what it is. But even for that 1 year, your commercial is nationwide, you are eating just off that.
And I remember as a kid seeing the old Mellow Yellow one. Like, you know, him like having a crisp Mellow Yellow.
Yeah. And so like for him to pull that in 5,000 commercials, and then he parlayed that into doing movies, and to
not bad.
And I mean, and the thing of it is too, it's kind of indicative of just where the movie business was at the time. It was kind of like the early version of like the content creator in a way, right? Like he was doing television commercials, and then somebody in Hollywood was like, you should do a movie because you're uber popular. And I mean, look, up until Ernest Rides Again, all those Ernest movies prior to that were making money at the box office.
Yeah. He was perfect for the early 90s. Yes, by the time Scared Stupid came in,
Rise Again was when it
was Rise Again.
Tanked.
Yeah, because God, I don't remember. That's another
Scared Stupid made money because it was Halloween and it just worked for that. But when you did Rides Again and it didn't really hit in comparison to the other three movies.
Yeah, and also let's put it out there, that movie ate on VHS.
Oh yes, home video.
And all of them did for Ernest.
Even the direct to DVD ones, like he ate off of that shit because people were like, oh, Ernest movies are still coming out. All right, cool.
Ernest still had an avenue of people. Like, a good example, he had a lot of Peter Griffins that go, hey, Ernest movie. You know, they watched it all the time. He had a loyal fan base of people who's like, yeah, like, good example. I know a lot of people don't like him, but Jeff Dunham has a freaking fan base for a reason. They love every single thing. So Jim Varney is another person like that to me. Yeah?
Jeff Dunham is actually funny to me, and I get it because it's like
he is funny. I think I'm just being honest with him. His shtick got old for me. It was
good for the era. He was like I ain't gonna put him in Dane Cook territory, so I don't want to say it like that. But like for the time period that Jeff Dunham like debut, and then up to a certain point, he was like cooking. He was cooking. I ain't gonna lie.
Jeff Dunham actually has been around since the late 90s.
Really?
He just didn't get hot until around that. Him and his little who's the Peanut. I remember seeing him and Peanut when I was a kid.
I did not know that.
Was like late 90s. That had to be when he was like in his late 20s or mid 20s when he was.
That's crazy. I thought it was just he just broke out. I didn't know he was doing it. Wow, that's crazy.
I remember it for one thing because I thought it was the funniest thing in the world. Was because he still do it with Peanut to this day. He'll say a joke and somebody doesn't catch it. You're like, you didn't get it. You didn't get it. It is actually kind of funny when he does it. So I remember seeing it years later. And he did a little with Peanut. I was like, I knew it. So, but still. But even with him, he has his audience. You see, I think that's actually a good example of it. He has his audience, and all his movies and specials are going to be directed to that audience and all the rest of that. Jim Varney, I will say it is interesting. If he was still out today, where would the Ernest thing fall at? And I hate making this because this is the kind of country that we are now. Who would be his audience? Is it going to be in blue states or red states, D? And I think I would say this. He was made for the purple people.
Yeah.
He was made for the purple people. Like you knew what America was, those people.
He would have been in a Tyler Perry movie maybe not as Ernest, but he'll been some eccentric character
Oh,
that's like Ernest.
I don't know. I don't
Because
know.
you
I
saw,
can't
because
figure
I
it
kind
out.
of felt some way about how Tyler Perry didn't go all in on just letting Larry the Cable Guy be full Larry the Cable Guy when they did
Yeah,
that,
that wasn't
when
gonna
he was,
happen.
because it was like, damn, that would have been dope. Because that's, it would have been like, damn, that shit should have been worked. It should have worked,
I
but
hate to be this person. I hate to be this person. I think I know why it didn't work. Tyler Perry can't write. Why are we
true.
acting like this nigga is a good writer? He
I don't know,
can't
because
write.
on paper, if you see Larry the Cable Guy and Medea, you're like, that should work in a
You would
weird
think, yeah.
way.
Come on, man. This is Cyclops and Ryu. This is what we've been waiting on.
Yeah, we were waiting for it. It's like, that was
That
let
actually
down.
goes into the one thing I did want to talk about when it comes to Jim Varney. Jim Varney as an actor is grossly underrated. You can, like, again, you can tell just by the range of his voice, his willingness to do slapstick, and the way where he will go from the silly fun lover Ernest, and when he turns into this. Now it's
It's
still
slick back
him.
hair. That's what we
It's
saw in the
it
90s.
was slick
If
back
you're
hard.
evil, you slick back the hair. That's how you could
Yeah,
tell
it's
he's
like
evil, D.
it's the same person. No, it's actually a different way he talks, walks, and everything. You can tell that
Gravelly and everything.
he changes the character the characters' way they talk, the way they move, and all the rest.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell, like I said, Jim Varney's an actor. You can really tell that he is, and it's actually one of the tragic things that I would say with his career is that we never really got to see him be anything more than just this. Only time anybody seen Jim Varney be more than Ernest had to be on the Beverly Hillbillies movie, and I feel like there's one more role that I'm missing that he probably did, but a lot of us never seen him outside of Ernest, and that's where it's kind of funny to me because I feel like if he had an opportunity to really flex that out, it would have really expanded just the world, not just his world, but just doing anything else outside of Ernest movies, make your career a lot more fuller. Not to say
Yeah.
that it wasn't full the way it is right now. Cause come on, man, this is fucking. He's legendary, dude.
Yeah. I mean, look,
Know what I mean? He's legendary.
If you want to talk about characters in this movie that, like, obviously we love Ernest, right? The two guys that I fucking as a kid,
Bobby
and Chuck. I swear to God, between Chuck doing this, slapping motherfuckers upside the head, and D,
the darting of the eyes.
No, D, this one, and you're gonna laugh. D, let's go. That is the most white shit ever. It's this, like all the hand movements. I was fucking cracking up on that shit.
Bobby, my dad, I remember my dad laughing at every single thing that Bobby did in this movie.
Nigga, his look, the gun, the peeking behind all the fucking cabinets and shit when he was looking at fucking Nash, like poking in the fucking bank. I swear to God, that shit had me dying.
Like, it's just like I said, some people just know when they're being silly on camera. They just
there was a stereotype in the 80s and 90s, and even in the black community, we got it of like that crazy, funny old person. And he hit that stereotype. Like, that was a thing. Like, even shows like Mama's Family, that, like, shit like that. Like,
I laugh at it because every time you see him, he had both hands on the 50 cal, ready to let that bad boy rip. I mean, two-handed this shit, dog. And then what makes it so funny? It's the beginning of the movie. Chuck, they both Call of Duty Chuck. All the rest of that shit. Next thing you know, Bobby aims directly at the door. Yeah, I'm like, what if someone was behind that door?
D, when he shot the cookie coming out the toaster, I fell out laughing. I swear to God, it was so random as shit. D, I'm like,
I remember my dad hollering at that point. I remember another scene where my dad lost it was when he was talking to the guy that ran the bank, and they had the
clear plexi plastic glass.
Bobby, Bobby, Bobby. He started lighting that shit up. I like how Bobby does all that, doesn't shoot one bullet at freaking nigger Ernest. He doesn't shoot one bullet at him.
Well, dude, the dogs got him. You know, and stuff.
Yeah, the dog. I forgot about that.
It's so random too. Like the dogs went after him and then went out the door, and I'm like, so Nash was right there, dog. Y'all didn't. All right, cool.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, it's perfect fine. But that Bobby and Chuck, their whole shtick throughout the Ernest movies were always funny to me because they remind me of why I love Bulk and Skull and Power Rangers, because it's that type of humor of two people that can just maneuver off each other, and it just works.
We're going to be doing a couple of movies this year that kind of go into when we were kids, what were considered old Hollywood tropes, or at least the way they used to always do it.
Mm-hmm.
And back in the day, there were people that were a tandem. And these two, now here's the fun thing about those two. They, along with the director of this movie, John Cherry III, they were in almost every Ernest project. Now, John Cherry, he directed every single Ernest thing that has ever came out. He's been the director.
He's their guy.
And you can kind of tell, even in doing this movie, I said, I'm going to watch a movie I didn't see in a long time, which was Ernest in the Ernest in the Army, or Ernest Goes to the Army, whatever they said. I'm watching that, John. There's a lot of Durka Muhammad Jihad in that movie. And I looked up when it was made, 1988. I was like, of course it was made in
1911, man. It was a
3911. You can just go with it. But at the same time, here's the thing that I noticed though, Chris. The feel of that movie, even though you can tell it was scaled down from being like having Touchstones back it up, because Touchstones did 3 of these movies, well, 4 of them.
Yeah,
they did 4 of these Ernest movies. But by the time you could tell it was at that point, it was on straight to VHS. But even then, they had this feel about it, and it hit me. When it comes to what I know what the 90s feel like, look like, smell like, and all the rest of that, it's actually, for me, it's Ernest movies. Because to me, they were perpetually in the 1990s. And yes, even though my favorite movie, like I said, Ernest Saves Christmas, is technically, I think that's 88 or 89.
88. It's 88, 89.
88?
Yeah, 88.
Yeah, even with that, it still got that. It still gives
tinge.
It still get that tinge of that 90s, man. So that's just something I noticed when I watched. Like, God, that's the 90s for me. Because of that, like Chris, that and VHS tapes of old Christian programs.
Man,
I thought was.
Hey,
look, it's hard. Chris, you probably already know what I'm talking about. It's hard to describe how we feel when we see it, but it's like 1995. Woo! I can feel that.
Hey, look. If Jim Varney was in Gospel Bill, I wouldn't be surprised.
That's another thing. I was saying
because it has that like, ooh, that's a 90s sort of 80s,
Ernest
90s kind of.
Ernest was a purple. Like I said, he was more for the people, so he's more purple. But Christians loved Jim Varney because he was technically clean comedy. So they loved him back then.
We both went to Full Gospel. Were you ever there during after school when they showed us Ernest Goes to Camp?
I was not in after school. I didn't.
Oh yeah, I did aftercare. Yeah, I did. I was aftercare one year, and they showed us Ernest Goes to Camp to pass the time. I loved it.
I only went to church and was involved in a lot of church activities. I didn't go to the school though. But yes, I know what you're talking about because I remember that being one of the tapes that was in the classrooms. So yeah, I already know.
Safe movie, and also another white movie that we probably will never do. Remember that movie Daryl? D.A. Yeah. Oh.
No, that's never fucking happened.
Oh, that's never happened. That's on the level of Flight of Navigator. We are not touching that shit.
Like I can tell y'all this right now. We are not
because we don't want to, but it's like
no, I want to say it. Like we already told y'all that we're not going to do Warriors of Virtue and we have already we are Ernest.
I might have to do Prime on Warriors of Virtue because it is Toku-esque.
Oh my god, I want on it if you convince him. I want on it.
All right.
Because you and I still gotta do we still gotta do Wing Commander, you and me.
Oh yes.
That might be a good one to get Prime on too. Yeah, like Wing Commander. You trying to do Wing Commander, nigga?
Oh yes.
Come on, let's talk about 90s and how something real good 90s and nerdy. Let's talk about Wing Commander.
Speaking of 90s, D, two white guys, they're white all-stars in my book, define 90s. That's Charles Napier.
You got Charles Napier in this movie, bro.
And Randall Tex Cobb. Randall Tex Cobb is a mainstay in movies and TV. He was a former boxer, just a big, imposing white guy.
Yeah.
And when you see him, he's another one that, depending on the actor, he can do a good comedic timing.
In this movie, they gave him nothing to say for 90%, 95% of the movie. They gave him nothing to say. All we had to go was based off like facial expressions. So when the plan goes down that they're going to get your boy, all right, what is nigga Ernest called? What was his name in this movie? Nash. We're going to get Nash out there that was going to do an old switcheroo. And I like how Tex is back there the whole time. He was just doing that the most of the movie. It's amazing. You know what, Chris, I have to say? Yes, on a technical scale, these Ernest movies are not well. They're not good. They're not great movies. They're not going to push the limit. But I like how, even then, this is 80 times better than Suburban Commando or any Hogan movie that came out in the same time frame. This is going to be interesting because, yes, Three Black Geeks, we're going to go back and try to finish the Three Ninjas saga because I never seen the Mega Mountain movie, and I really want to see the intersection of Hulk Hogan and Jim Varney cross. I need to see
First off, Hulk Hogan is at home listening to this like,
I'm like, what do you say? Fuck me for?
No.
Why am I catching strays?
No, if Hogan he's doing this right now. Let's get that right.
Let me tell you something, nigger.
Yo, back in the day, you used to be in chains, brother.
Trump.
One day, yo, we are gearing up for. I'm going to make sure we talk to our boy Cam and guys over there. I forgot the name of his group now when it comes to the wrestling joke he got. But me and Chris, we need to team up with him because
this dude was coming on. Collision Course and Blind.
He wasn't Blind Fury. What? Hey, was he in I'm probably saying
one of the Police Academy
movies. Was he in Running Man? What he in Running Man? I don't think he was in Running Man. I'm probably thinking of somebody else.
He was also another silent big man in The Golden Child that befriended Eddie Murphy.
Yes, he was. I forgot about that. God, he was a bit of a mainstay. These football players and wrestlers in the 80s, all they had to do was
But it doesn't work because it's one of those things where I feel I would say he was typecast, but I don't think he had a problem being typecast. It was like the good kind of typecast where it's like, yeah, we just need you to be a tough guy. All right, cool.
Oh yeah, no. I think some people are fine with the typecast. Like they'll do, like
it's the easiest gig ever.
I think the reason why we say shit like that is because nobody thought that Dave Bautista was gonna go, well, just give me more lines. No, I'm really gonna do it. I'm
gonna do the work. I want to do the work.
I actually want to go to school for it. like I get it. Batista wanted to break the mold of that junk. He wanted to,
and I'm fine with that. That's great.
Here's the funny thing, but I noticed it with Batista, and it's like Batista. I see what you're trying to do, but I'm pretty sure Arnold Schwarzenegger would be like, you have to calm down. You're good, but you don't have to act that hard. Like like when you really, if you really like, the one thing I always admire is going through the history of these movies.
Mhm.
And the thing of what I noticed that Arnold Schwarzenegger, for a freaking brick, for everybody think he is, that he's stupid. Arnold was very like, no, it wouldn't make sense with the character. See the character, he goes here, he goes there, and you're listening to it, it's like Arnold makes sense when he like it's amazing.
But I feel maybe
how
that's.
smart he is.
But I feel that's kind of why Jim Varney and Cherry actually work, because they just know, okay, we know what we're getting out of Ernest, so let's just have fun with it.
Yeah, and Cherry, if I'm mistaken, if I didn't mention it, he also directed a bunch of those commercials too.
Yeah. So it makes sense.
Yeah.
They had that dynamic just to be like, all right, we're just gonna keep this shit
I
simple
would
and
say
just go
this:
from there.
shout out for Cherry from going from commercials to motion pictures. That is two different mediums, and I gotta say that couldn't be easy, especially with Ernest Goes to Camp. That could have failed. You know, that could have failed, and that would have been the end of a whole Ernest thing, right? Luckily for him, that golf cart that was just driving around the camp.
That is funny as shit to me, by the way. It's like,
that is one of my early childhood memories of seeing that golf cart. And it kept up the whole movie.
And the camp, and the people in the camp just treated like it's a normal thing. Like, all right, cool.
Okay. One thing that Jim Varney did, he cursed me as a kid because I am that kid. And no, that has never happened to me, but I had some accidents pause around my mouth. Click, ink everywhere. Yes, that has happened to me once in my life. And the best line from that, Chris, is when he takes the paper, he was all wiping it on his face, and then he didn't know what to do with it. He threw it in his mouth, started chewing. And as a child, I didn't laugh at this joke, but I paused the movie and cracked up. The black judge goes, "Excuse me, sir, are you okay?" Because I would have said, "Sir, are you okay? Do you what?" And Joe, it was the for me. This dude got all this ink jizz all over his face.
My thing is this.
Oh,
that scene had no business being as unhinged as it was.
How was it funny? Because I'm laughing. How was this funny?
It's the fact that he, instead of just spitting it out or spitting inside the paper, this motherfucker just goes with it like, I don't know what to do.
I mean, hard chewing that shit too.
Dude, it's the fucking defense attorney and the other one that's like looking over like.
He was looking over the black dude who was on the other side. He was like, "The hell?" Everybody was staring at it. Like I said, the second that judge like, "Sir, are you okay?"
It's the fact that Ernest, again, it's the little things. He gets the jury duty letter. It's like, "See, rim shot. I'm a jury. And he just, it's silly funny a little bit to me where I chuckle like, this man is happy to be a jury. All right, cool.
I am supposed to go to jury duty this Monday. I'm canceling that junk. So
hey, you don't want to make $30? You don't want to make $30? It's the easiest $30 of your life.
Chris. Yeah. That's why I said I'm willing to do it another time because I can't do it. I signed up for that junk like, oh shit, I can't do this. I can't do it on that day. But I figured that out. But that being said, I thought about that shit. The only other time I've seen somebody happy to do jury duty was on American Dad, where Stan was so excited. He used to call down to jury duty, call down the courthouse to see if he was on jury duty. And the person that picked up was our girl, big girl from Wayans Brothers. Big girl from Wayans Brothers. She was
was it Severna or whatever the hell her name is?
Sojourner Truth. But what's her name?
Anna Maria Horsford.
And She picked it up. Like, how you doing? Like, how you doing, Mrs. Smith? Yeah, it's a bright new day. Yeah, I know. So are you yeah, so I'm in jury duty. Let me check. Nah, no, you ain't. He was just so excited to be on jury duty. Yada yada yada.
Dude, him
Funny
going
ass.
through the fucking
Whatever.
dude, these motherfuckers have a minefield in their front yard. Motherfuckers shooting in the kitchen.
I like how they shot in the kitchen, and the second Jim sat down, and then like second Ernest sat down there, and he's telling them like we got a whole plan. Now I'm just thinking to myself, the neighbors hear all those gunshots
That's a
every
redneck
single,
neighborhood.
and it hit me, Chris. So Chris, I got a question
Mhm.
because I always thought this as a kid, and because I thought it was a kid, it makes it hilarious for me now. I believe that all of this takes place in Florida. What about you? I truly believe the Ernest universe, it might actually be California, but in D's head canon, no, we in the middle of Florida. Florida. Not Florida, Florida.
This feels like a very small town in Illinois. That house, the local bank, the jail that's like 20 miles away, I guess, because Ernest literally broke out of jail and ran home.
And ran home. Thank you. By the way, shout out to Nash for shout out to Nash being what I would do if I came out of jail. Just lay low, not give a F. I love how he put his feet up on the desk.
He went mad niggerish on that shit. Like, yo.
He ain't one time, to give him his credit, he ain't one time try to put his hands on homegirl because you couldn't do no rape scenes back then like that.
Aggressively kissing is close to raping a kids movie.
That is the most you can do. You brute. That was the only thing that was missing.
Why did you agree? Here's the sick part, D. When he first kissed her in the bank, like tongued her in the bank, that look on her face was like, the fuck? To kind of turned on a little bit. I'm kind of.
It was the Rihanna meme where she looked like this, like that. Like, all right. I mean, you could try it again. Just
yeah, that kind of shit. It was like, all right, Ernest got a little bit of balls on him. Cool.
All right, Ernest P. World. Wonder what the P stand for, yo nasty.
I think that's what makes.
See, Ernest know what? That's probably what did it, Tevin.
Yeah.
That's probably what did it. What made me always feel like it always takes place in Florida. But like I said, if you would tell me, I really think
Florida. I kind of believe it because, like I said, I've never ventured around Florida. I've only flown into Orlando and Miami, so I don't know what the suburban situation looks like in Florida. So you probably are right on that.
I will also say like a Fresno. I would say like a Fresno maybe or something like that. Like some places is fun to try to guess where they are, but it's always going to be like California or Florida. It's always going to be like that. Yeah. I would like to say it's Texas. This don't look like Texas at all to me.
One of the characters that Ernest does that I love is his old lady, the old white lady with the neck brace.
The neck brace. It's always a neck brace and the wheelchair. First off, we're not going to talk about the pink. I mean, fresh as hell. But we're not going to talk about the pink CO jacket they got on here.
Yeah.
But I love how you just pull up like young man.
And what would your mother think if you're not helping me?
I really don't. I really hope that this would not be such a distraction, but I need to leave. You see that my son was back here. Oh, he doesn't want to visit his mother, but now he can visit his mother all he wants. But I have to leave my home and visit him. Is it not? Isn't it that cruel that I'd have to? I love.
Here's
uppity, I love those were the Karens back. Those were the Karens back in the day.
You think it's exaggerated, but that is accurate as shit.
Those are the Karens back in the day, always complaining that their sons don't love them, always complaining about everything. I need to speak to your man.
It's hot in this room.
What is the standards that you have inside of this Hardee's? That's how Karens were back in the day.
First off, I think you told me to shut the fuck up about this. I feel Hardee's is the most white ass restaurant, and yet
Yes,
I
it
can
is.
kind of fuck up some Hardee's a little bit sometimes. So
I'll
it's
fuck
like
up some parties, nigga.
at the
I
same
remember
time, Hardee's always felt to me like a white ass fucking place. I remember one of the kids' meals. You're gonna laugh at this. Was the NASCAR Hot Wheel cars in the kids' meal?
those were the best ones.
Yes,
I
it
don't
was.
fuck with
Yes,
you.
it was.
So back in the day, and I mentioned this, and this is a movie that we're probably gonna have to redo, but I mentioned this back in the day that when Days of Thunder came out, because the Hardee's car was so prominent out there,
Oh,
they went ahead and had the Hardee's car, the Tide car, the mellow yellow car,
uh-huh.
and I think that I forgot the other car that they had
Yeah.
available at the time. But yeah, it was because Days of Thunder was out there during that time, so that was the big deal.
Hardee's was eating during them fucking 6
Let me
months.
tell you, the car to get was everybody wanted the Hardee's car because that's the one they gave you all the time. But the car that everybody
Mellow yellow?
wanted was the Tide and Mellow Yellow.
Yeah,
one.
the
That was
hero
the one
car, so to speak, sir.
I wanted the Mellow Yellow. The mellow yellow one is still pretty good.
Hey,
to
look,
this day.
we all went to Paramount Schemes Dominion. We went in the Days of Thunder ride. We wanted the mellow yellow car. Come on.
The Mellow Yellow, that joke was a shit, man. I used to like the Tide car when I was a kid. Because that was the first time I actually saw advertisement on cars, and I didn't. That was weird to me. Because even when I went to the stock cars, was not the stock cars, the drag races as a kid. Of course, you see like the Pennzoil logo and a Lucas logo or something like that somewhere around it, but they weren't on the cars. So when I saw that on the cars, I thought it was cool as hell to see the logo on the cars, not knowing, that's capitalism. Praise capitalism by getting it. It's so that's the way I hate about motorsports, but it makes the thing so infinitely cool is when they have a cool logo of some corporate entity on the side of that joint. It should be hot though, man. It'd be hot though. Real talk, not here. I'm not going to explain it here, but a fun little story for all of y'all is to see all the sponsors that NASCAR had that failed. The scammers that have been through NASCAR is amazing. No bull crap. The scammers that they had coming through NASCAR, bro.
I told y'all this. If I hit the Mega Millions, the way I would have a 3BG sponsored NASCAR car would be amazing.
All right, this is local to the DC area. Y'all not gonna know this, but somebody actually did this on the Gran Turismo. Somebody actually put the Tahitian treat logo.
Get the fuck out of here!
I died laughing because now the DC equivalent of that would be the Rock Creek logo, and that's what I need. I need to see the Rock Creek logo on the side.
Folks,
somebody made a Tahitian treat car. That shit is actually sweet. It was like it was a freaking Porsche, man. But anyway.
Damn it, now you want to maybe get some Rock Creek soda. That shit had me in a Cobra Clutch in high school. I ain't gonna lie.
I hate how the flavor is in a Rock Creek soda. But Rock Creek sodas cost 75 cents. And
it's like Arizona tea. They never raised the prices.
I can't say no to that. So
it's like, D, come on now. I can get a fucking Rock Creek ginger ale, which is lesser than Canada Dry, and still be like, you know what?
All these gas stations, all these gas stations, y'all trying to. I get it. I'm willing to pay $1.30 for Arizona, but ain't nothing higher than that.
Yeah,
that's the most you're gonna get, man. Y'all need to drop it down to $1 because you're hurting yourselves doing it, and you know y'all are. I love the gas stations where it still costs $1. Like, thank you. This is what America needs to be.
So it's called PG County. I can go to the local corner store.
I'm still mad that they took Sobe from me, man. I didn't like Sobe like that. I ain't like Sobe like that.
Sir, Sobe is still existing. You got to go to the Northern Virginia corner places. There's a gas station down the street from where Ernest lives at. And Manassas has it.
Yes. Still got the pina colada?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
I think I'm doing something wrong in my life there.
Hey, Sobe,
I leave my lizard milk.
Hey, look, they bring back Mystic. Forget about it, man.
Nah. Actually, they do have Mystic.
Where?
Superamericanos. That's where you get them at.
Oh, okay.
Spanish milks.
Okay,
Supermercado,
this Spanish
inside
grocery store down the
supermercado.
street from me. This is Spanish grocery store down the street from me. I might have to go. I might take a trip.
Look. You probably don't have to look hard. If it's one of the good ones, like you know where I used to work at over in Alexandria,
Yeah.
it's one of the good ones that was right there. That was one of the good ones because you would go in there and they would have 5 different refrigerators, and one of you like the Mystics in this one.
All I'm saying is,
you gotta find it, bro. You gotta put your ear to the ground, bro.
I'm saying international stores are clutch when it comes to finding stuff that you used to drink back in the day.
Okay, probably 2 of us. Hey, NASCAR fans, I need y'all to pray for Bubba Wallace and a couple other black people that are down there in the NASCAR tracks this season. It ain't gonna be pretty.
It ain't gonna be pretty.
Need y'all pray for him. He gonna show up. He got that jump man logo on the side of that shit. The white people ain't gonna like that. You know that, man.
Yeah. DEI, so to speak.
Gotta put an ASIC sign on the side of that boy.
It's like, you don't like the Nike Air Max? No, I don't.
I don't want your DEI sneakers. Chris, you know what I learned? DEI affects other people that aren't black people.
Yeah, white women.
DEI actually helps out white women. It actually helps out white women. And yeah, I didn't know that it helped out veterans. I'm sorry, the white veterans. So you mean to tell me the thing you cut off? I'm black. It didn't change the numbers. They haven't changed for us.
I'm 3 strikes and you're out. Black man, veteran, maybe disabled because a little sickle cell, I guess. I don't know. Pardon, just sprinkles. Like every people don't
right
understand
on the top of the mirror, right on top of the dome mirror.
Every black man has a level, no bullshit, of sickle cell where it's like the lightest of light sickle cell where it's like, you're fine, you ain't gonna get crazy, to actual sickle cell.
What level of sick nigger are you?
Level one.
All right, so there's this I like how Ernest is in there. They switch him. They do the switcheroo. And Ernest is an idiot. First off, you answered it. First off, 2 things. Who was guarding that all those people going to the jail like that?
Dude. You see the guys with the pink fucking sports jackets? Come on, bro. You know the vibes at that prison. Come on.
Dog. And
motherfuckers sleeping on the job in front of the prisoners with the keys jangling in their pockets.
Ain't no CCTV out there to see him switch clothes. Yo, it's already bad enough that the brother tell him to do that shit, and the teacher and get out of here. Get out of here. Did he die this year?
Yep, he did.
He passed away this year?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Get out of here.
January 9th. January 9th.
He passed on my son's birthday.
Yeah.
That's sad. Wow, man. 1938 and man, almost
86 years old, man. 86.
You saw Jesus, bro. Come on now, man. Look at that. I said that about anybody that made it over 80 years old. I said you saw Jesus.
You won. You won in life.
You won, dog. Come on, man. I think you can slow down now. You can be that grandma that only smokes weed and do nothing else. But yeah, I like how he switched clothes. You had enough time to switch clothes. No one's seen you do it. And I like how Ernest stupid ass think he can go home that day.
My man said, jury duty. This is a lot of people here for jury duty today.
Look at all these people trying to give back to their local government.
Dude, I like how they're supposed to stand up
the
before
American
eating.
justice system.
Supposed to stand up drinking, and he's out here fucking swiggling the fucking water in the glass and shit. Like he's the only one that's just sitting down and stuff in the car. It's like, the fuck is going? Nash. He's like, what are you talking about, Nash? Like, all right, I guess.
Oh no, I'm on jury duty. I'm not supposed to be here. Wait a minute, I am. No, that shit. Again, nasty. What I also would have did. I loved Ernest's pup. I love Rimshot. I do love Rimshot, but I wouldn't do the same thing. Get your ass away.
dog just want to be left alone. D. He's a loyal dog.
I'm sorry. Some dogs, like them Russell Terriers, are close to the ground, and I hate to be that person. They are perfect punting fodder.
So what you're saying is you were not a fan of the PBS show Wishbone. What you're saying?
I love Wishbone.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I love Wishbone.
Very smart dog.
Wishbone, Arthur, Sesame Street, Lamb Chop, and Ghost Rider were my favorite things off of PBS. I love Wishbone.
Not Zoobly Zoo.
Oh yeah, I didn't like Zoobly Zoo.
That was scary.
It's probably one of the reasons. I'm keeping it real. It's probably one of the reasons why I don't like furries, and why I don't. And why I don't fuck with. That's why I don't fuck with those pictures with people.
Zoobly Zoo was made by Zoobly Zoo was made by a white guy that was on acid.
That was a guy that saw cats and said, "If Andrew Lloyd Webber can do it, then maybe I can do it too."
Oh, public access.
Bunch of people in costumes rubbing up on each other. You see what I'm saying? Like,
but Ben Verino, D. Great in Zoobly Zoo.
I will have to say this. It is a treat knowing that I was like, who was that? I think it was my mom. I think it was my mom that told me that. I was like, I don't know if I ever seen Ben Vereen. It was my mom, somebody that said, no, he was on Zoobly Zoo. What? Yeah, I grew up watching Ben Vereen
unknowingly
with the little cheetah nose. Oh, today we have a beautiful story to tell you all. Like, yeah, they did a lot of rubbing.
Yeah, there was a lot of, like I said, sexual innuendos.
So, like Lamb Chop, Ghost Rider. I don't count Reading Rainbow because fucking duh. But yeah, Reading Rainbow. I am still to this day, I am a big fan and I'm a big proponent, even though none of my sons grew up watching it like that. Well, my oldest, he was an Elmo fan, but none of my kids grew up on Sesame Street like that.
Is it because you didn't show them, or they just never had an interest?
I did. They never attached.
Okay.
My first two were the only ones that seen it like that, and the oldest one was the only one that liked Elmo. And like I said, but to this day, I am all for Sesame Street. I'm a big fan of Sesame Street. I'm sad to hear that they're probably going to be closing up.
No. Amazon got it.
Amazon got it.
Amazon has a PBS thing and it's free. You don't have to have Amazon Prime. You can just watch it straight up. We'll see how long that goes.
Okay.
Look at you,
that's what I'm saying. I'm a big fan of fucking Sesame Street. I love Sesame Street to this day. Like, if you were to tell me that 3 Black Geeks get to be with one of the puppets, it would be the best day of my life. It would be crazy. It'd be like this. It's like, hey, guys, look, it's the guy with 3 Black Geeks. Hey, kids, what's up? What's going on? No, you shouldn't do that. See, what you need to understand is that when you hit somebody, it's important to know that it's actually going to hurt. I am all for that crap.
All I'm saying is,
doing this crap.
All I'm saying is, we will riff so good with Oscar the Grouch. I just feel the vibes would be fucking hilarious.
Oh my God. We're like, yeah, we're 3 Black Geeks and we're reviewing a movie today. Like, we're reviewing a movie today with the great Oscar. Yes. I would know what trashy things are.
Man,
the Letter C movie. I didn't like the Letter C movie. What did you guys think about it?
It was trash, just like what I live in.
I would go all the way with it, yeah. Commit to the bit. I would love, because it's Sesame Street. Come on. Like the Muppets too. I'll fold for the Muppets. To be with Kermit is actually another thing for me. If I'm on stage with Kermit, that's the greatest day of my life.
I was kind of jealous of Keegan and Keenan Thompson, going against Wolford and what's the other dude?
Statler and
Waldorf, when they were like riffing on each other. I was like, that is the funniest shit ever. I hate both of you two. I wish I was there.
I love them, man. Like, oh man. Look, I can't believe it. What? It's over. Oh! I love it.
Speaking of which, another shtick if we talk about comedians. So apparently Ernest just, bays with the vest on, the jean vest on. Apparently. Just
I asked the dumbest question before that scene started. Actually, hold on. Where's the picture? I asked the stupidest question. Mm-hmm. First off.
Vern has industrial bubble bath on the market.
On the market. But anyway.
In a
I
Costco.
should have. But Chris, I should have known. I was asking myself, why is that washing machine so big? That's he's washing the side of it with his clothes on, and I'm like, okay, but he has a blower. He has a blower for that. And it does give me a line that I remember laughing as a kid, and I am embarrassed to say I laughed at it now. Oh yeah, that's the problem. It's the guy look right there. That's all his bro.
First off,
Okay,
Ernest being electrocuted and the sounds is like funny in a silly way. You're right, because it's like with the
then this
that blue screen CGI with the shitty 90s electricity that hits him and stuff, just
and then I forgot he becomes Magneto for a bit. and then hold on, the part that gets me is that it disappears, right? So and I will give the movie this. It disappears to the point where it's like, oh shit, what's gonna happen? They're really gonna fry this nigga. And I like how it's like, you know what? I don't care. I give up. I'm gonna stand up. I'm gonna be a man. Guard.
Now it's just time. Oh Lord.
I don't want to go. So they put him on the. I laugh like a motherfucker because again, I forgot. All right, I remember watching this movie, and I was still this Chris. But I remember watching this movie, but I don't remember how he went to jail or how he got out or any of the ending. I just don't remember how it went. Yeah. So the part that had me cracking up, Chris, he was like this, like that's right, guys. I don't have to put me in this chair, but if you do, I will. I cracked up.
Because they didn't even have enough time to put it down properly.
They didn't even warn him. They just started roasting this thing.
Bro, Charles Napier the whole time was sitting like this.
Yeah, Charles Napier is like, I just fried another person. There's more tax dollars gonna be headed our way. Prison industrial complex. Can't get enough.
Let me tell you something. If there's a guy, again, this is why he's a 90s Jim. If you needed a white guy that just loves killing in some weird way, Charles Napier was your guy. You gotta kill him. And I'm like, all right, cool. I believe you.
You got you said you heard that voice and all. I mean, Charles Napier for me is a full circle for me because Charles Napier is involved in the show that made me want to do what we're doing right now. He was in the show The Critic.
Oh man,
he played Duke in The Critic. He was the best thing in them.
Love it.
He was probably one of the best things ever. He played a more of an alpha male version of Ted Turner, and it was just the greatest thing in the world. He's like, we did everything. We could like not only did we colorize movies, we also started putting things in there, like Frank, like Alice, my dear, I don't give a ham. So they will always do. That's why that's so funny, man.
Dude, Ernest being electrified and just all the stuff getting to him, and he has like a whole persona now with all the shit fucking going
all of a sudden. I like how these CEOs who just are doing a job are getting zapped away. I mean, straight up getting late. Like,
hey, for $3 million, he actually was decently convincing with the the sparks and stuff. Like, all right, cool. You got your $3 million worth out of this film. It's great.
And I like that's when he finally gets to your boy, man. At the end, like, come on, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. I'm sorry. He's like, I ain't gonna hurt you, Ernest. Get out of here. I'm like, what? You didn't speak the whole movie. I told you you had a heart of gold, guys.
The line that is just, it's very 90s. Ernest, nothing's ever going to be the same when you're gone.
Oh God, what was the line that he said? He's like, nothing's going to be the same. Know what I mean? Oh, frankly, I do know what you. What do you say? What do you say? I do.
Frankly, I do know what you mean.
No, he said like every day, my friend. No, that's what he said.
Yeah,
every day, my friend. When you say every day, my friend, that's your response to know what I mean. And when you respond to, all right, I can tell that was a joke that some people laughed at, but not everybody. I'm here to let you know D laughed at it years later because that was brilliant. He actually answered the question of, you know what I mean? I do every day, my friend.
Hey, D, again, subtle joke. My nigga carved a fucking M4 gun in the fucking chest.
I didn't get this joke as a kid, but seeing it now, seeing him go to town on the bar of soap just to come up with a freaking info, I'm like, this is the stupidest thing ever.
And it fucking goes down like reach for the sky.
Yeah, that joke got flaccid. I was laughing like I don't know what.
Dude, what is with dude? Again, trope, another trope is when they fucking put the fucking jail balls on his leg after he fucking rips the guards like half of pants off and stuff, trying to get keys and stuff. That'll hold you. I'm like, all right. I mean, that's a real thing that happened back in the day, but I feel they cut that off.
I feel like they did.
Like in the 70s and 80s, they were like, all right, guys, this is kind of
all
crazy.
right, guys, this is a bit humane. We're getting sued now. Apparently, these guys aren't slaves; they're human beings.
I feel that was the conversation. The prison.
That's the way they always. If you ever hear anybody talk about the prison industrial complex, they have this almost fine. They're humans, okay? They always have that response.
I feel over the years, and look, dude, how do you feel the Deep South felt when they finally, in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, were told, yeah, you can't really use prisoners as cotton picking slaves. No, you can't do that.
It is shocking that to this day, it is shocking that to this very day in 2025, that they still got those programs running in Mississippi, Louisiana, and in Alabama. That is, I think in Arkansas too. It's already bad enough. Jail labor is already in its own self, hard labor.
Bro, they're fighting fires in California and getting paid like 50 cents a day or some shit like that.
Exactly. And that's the thing that's so crazy. It's already bad enough you got to do that, but you got these dudes and what they're getting paid for and all that. No, it's slavery.
Yeah,
it's straight up slavery. It is crazy to hear prisoners, and I don't like it when Black people kind of shoot them away on this, and it's something I think we all need to be aware of. Like, no, when you hear a black person that was a prisoner tell you about a program like that, and it sounds like slavery, yeah, because it pretty much is.
If it looks like
and they still exist.
It's slavery.
And granted, yes, there are some states, and even the government to an extent was like, "Hey, look, stop." You know what I mean? Like, you can't do that no more. But let's just be real. The prison industrial complex is not an Ouroboros. It is it's a python of bullshit.
Oh,
you know what I mean? It doesn't. You don't know where it exactly starts or ends with his bullshit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I will say this, Chris. It is great to what we're going through in this country. I needed this laugh.
Oh no, it's a very cathartic. It's a cathartic movie, and it's not to say we don't get silly shit now. We still do, but it's a very innocent movie that isn't trying to be something that it isn't.
This is considered old Hollywood to my kids.
Oh yeah, it's very old Hollywood. Yeah, it's very old Hollywood.
Even because what they're doing is really stuff that was created during the 1940s and 50s with their comedy. And like I said, you can still do it now, but it's hard to do.
What did your kids think of it? Cause I feel they're a litmas test of.
They didn't watch it. They didn't watch this.
Okay. Have you showed them any old movies from that time period? What is their thoughts on old movies overall? Because I'm always kind of curious on like the younger generation of like.
Well, it's weird. I can show them Ninja Turtles. They can watch that all day.
Okay.
And I told y'all that when we did it, that the first Ninja Turtles is.
It holds up.
And what the one thing I'm proud about is that because of our generation and the guys in the generation before us, Gen X had a hand in this too. A lot of kids do see the 88 cartoons. No, not the 88 cartoons. They see the 89 movie. and they're still like excited to see it. Even the second one to an extent. You know what I mean? They like that. Some movies just do have staying power. I am interested because I remember my kids didn't like it when I was watching. Well, they weren't really watching it with me, which was Gremlins. They didn't really watch that with me. They watched Back to the Future with me, the first one. They thought it was okay. But certain movies, like, yeah, I always tell y'all when it comes to certain movies that if my kids are in the room watching with me and all that, because who my father-in-law was, they were raised up watching a lot of 90s action movies, and those are the ones that I really keep them around for. Like if I'm watching, like I know this year we're going to be doing kickboxing, they're definitely going to be watching that.
Yes.
They're definitely going to be
I feel there's something to be said. And you know what's funny? Another reason why like I got into Ernest is because my dad just, one of those lazy Saturdays, he'd be just channel surfing and boom, an Ernest movie goes and he's watching it. He's cracking up in the living room. And I'm like, what is he laughing at? And then boom, I'm watching Ernest movies.
I still, like I said, I know my first Ernest movie was the camp movie.
Oh, Ernest Goes to Camp was my first one.
But I know for a fact I watched that the least that I watched.
I'm not surprising because I think it varies from like Ernest Goes to Camp was the movie that I fucking love. That shit is hilarious. But I do know to your point that like Ernest Scared Stupid is their favorite. Like that shit is, and it is fucking hilarious. That movie
Ernest Scared Stupid is probably. I have to say, because we did this, we're going to do about like 2 more Ernest movies, which will definitely be Scared Stupid, and I do want us to redo Ernest Saves Christmas one day. But for the most part, though, like I don't know if we're ever going to do another Ernest movie, but I really am glad that we talked about Ernest Goes to Jail because here's the funny thing though. Now this is make the full circle. We can wrap it up here.
Yeah.
Early in the podcast, you said you didn't know too many people you could talk to about this as a kid.
Yeah.
What I found out was when I became an adult, how many people loved Ernest.
Oh, wow.
Like they just love this shit. I will say that. That's the one thing that changed up in me. While it's not like, a group of black people talking about a different world, which is fucking annoying. But it's not like being in a group of that where everybody has an experience on it. But
be different. Really, be different. Be me. Be the guy that talks about head of the class.
Nobody talks about head of class. Be like me. I'm talking about Wayne Head. You and the 16 people that saw that thing.
Sir, you say 16? Don't you mean 10?
Hey, Chris, I know you're not talking real life. The new adventures of Johnny Quest. I know you're not talking. Nobody.
Yeah, my bad.
That.
Me and two people watched that.
They made Haji.
Tsunami hyped the fuck out of that shit. I ain't gonna lie. That's what got
Haji
me.
Older. Johnny had it. Was that Johnny's cousin or was that racist daughter?
Racist illegitimate kid from one chick he banged out.
That was his bastard kid.
On one of his many adventures, he fucked some chick and boom, Jesse is there.
I am mad that Venture Brothers didn't go all the way they could with race banning. I wish.
Oh man,
I really wish they could have. They didn't, because what they did was funny enough. Because what they did was an effed up version of what pretty much what's the name went through Dr. Quest, Dr. Venture went through.
Yeah,
I will give this. I didn't forgive this to me. I did not watch the last 2 seasons of Venture Brothers, but Venture Brothers is an amazing show.
Oh, the movie that came out, the movie that came out that bookended is fucking hilarious.
I heard people loved it.
Oh, that shit is so good.
Like it's so funny. Like I was. Who you like, D? To me, you can either like BoJack Horseman or Venture Brothers. You can't like both. If you like both, you're a douchebag. If you like both shows to me, you're a douchebag. I can't talk to you about cartoons, movies, nothing, because everything is not on this level for you. like you talking to somebody that loves to this day certain episodes, not all episodes, of Drawn Together. I can still watch those episodes of Drawn Together. But at the same time, yeah, give me something that's higher quality animation. Like there are some episodes of Bob's Burgers where it's like, I'm a critic and I agree. It's heartwarming.
but you're right though. Like I think in the grand scheme of it all, like if you did bring together some black folks, if you brought up Ernest, you'll get some of them that'll be like, yeah, I watched the Ernest Goes to Camp, or I watch Ernest Scared Stupid, or I watch Ernest Saves Christmas, or
I
even
get
Ernest
scared
Goes, like
stupid more
you'll
than
probably
anything.
yeah.
You get scared stupid more than anything
Oh
else.
yeah,
That's what they and yes, Mr. Yes, Jay,
we did.
we're going to we did years ago, but like I said, I definitely want us to redo it.
Yeah.
I definitely want us to do it because it's a movie where it does a lot of Ernest shtick, and it has the fucking gall.
Mm,
Every 10 minutes they go to homeboy Cameron who's playing Santa Claus.
mm.
Don't you understand that when it comes to the holidays, we are just human beings looking for love and affection. It is like this
Ah,
yeah, you're
ah.
right.
Well, I mean,
And the little message he had at the end for Ernest. I'm like, this movie has no business as being as good as it is.
you know what's crazy to me? Just the book in this, it's like like I said before, Ernest, the movies always had a very innocent spirit to it. And I think, and it's not to say we don't get movies or shows like that now, but like it's just the energy of the Ernest movies. They feel very like legit earnest, and it's a natural earnest to it, like
Yeah,
earnest.
pun,
No
pun
pun
intended.
intended. Yeah, it's
Pun
just
intended in this case.
yeah.
Yes.
There's like it's like, oh, they really did this movie because they just wanted to be like a silly movie because they can, and it just works
It,
because you.
it came out at a different time. It came out at a different time where you could have did this when they were sellable. I think that's the thing about it. And I told this to Eris when it comes to certain things that happened in the 90s and the 2000s. Is it still sellable? Yes, you can come out here and make a same Ernest movie, but is it going to have the same buzz? Do you have the right actor to do it? Do you have this? Do you have that? Is it the right time to do it? Because there's another thing too.
Timing is a
And
bitch.
yeah, it's another thing too, because either A, nobody's going to like it, or B, yeah, you were ahead of your time, but you're not going to see no residuals until 10, 15 years from now off of something that nobody watched 10, 15 years ago. So there's a yes, I think what we always say we want to see more movies of it or movies like this is like there's a risk of making a movie like that now.
Yeah.
There now, that being said, Tubi, Pluto, and all the rest of that, you can get away with it.
Yeah.
But the problem is, do you have somebody that can commit to the bits? And also, physical comedy is still physical comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Not everyone is willing to do it.
Yeah.
All right, not everywhere. There's a look. Chris Farley drunk himself into a stupor for a reason, bro. Like physical comedy, like it takes a lot out of you, man.
That is some Hollywood shit right there, though. Son of Ernest.
Yeah.
But it's like again, it goes back to who do you get that can actually do slapstick? That's the key
and
thing.
also have the
comedic timing kind of vibe.
comedic timing. Like here's the funny thing, and I think that is a good question. How do you sell Ernest to Gen Z? I don't know how you do it. Because like I said, with Gen Z, it's so funny. People said when we got to it when we was talking offline, we was talking about making like sex comedies. They still make sex comedies now. Yeah, they taking all the different, they take a different route about it. I still think you can make it just takes some time. You can still make those sex comedies, but it's hard to really sell. Hey, my name's Josh, and I'm a loser. Except this weekend, I'm going to get laid. All right. Come on, man. We're gonna do what I can. We're totally get laid. The one white guy that always acts late. What's up, my brother? You can't make movies like that like you used to, man. They always had the one white boy who was a stoner that always acted black.
Want people to understand that was a sort of golden era for that age group of white people where it was like a thing.
Yeah, and it's so funny. I don't want Three Black Geeks to talk about it, but we eventually will be talking about American Pie.
Oh,
like but still, we like when it comes to that, it's hard. I think you can make those movies. Who you're going to sell that shit to?
Yeah, because it's gonna come out. It's gonna be nostalgia wrapped in. Is the new people gonna like this kind of thing? It's like
because I actually question. There's to be at least 4 of them I've seen where it's the girls who are trying to get laid, or at least trying to be women.
They've done that. They've done a couple movies like that.
They've done a few movies of that, and I'm thinking to myself, how popular are they, D? I can't answer that question. I'm not a part of the youth, but that's what I'm talking about. Is that comedy still funny? Yeah. Who are you selling it to? And again, I hate saying it like this. It goes to what George Carlin said. Is rape funny? No, rape isn't funny, but you can make it funny. Like you can. There's ways of doing it.
Yes. Hey.
For example, Dave Chappelle gave the example of this. Like, it's not funny at all. But if I told you I was raped, I know, but I was raped, and it was a clown that did it, and everybody just starts like, see? Like, already you hear it. You hear the sound.
No, but it goes. But if you really think about it, it's like when I was telling you about like Chuck and Bobby, right?
Yeah.
That thing of, but I'm saying like Bobby as the old guy that just does crazy stuff. When I said earlier that it was a shtick, it was a shtick, and that's probably why you get somebody like Sly Stallone. It was like, hey, stop where my mom was shoot. We got the old lady from Golden Girls. This should work, right?
Yeah. They like the old people doing things like
crazy stuff. It's very up and down. It's
I don't think you can do that now. I don't think you can do that now for one main reason. Because a bunch of old people just told all the young people, fuck your country. This is Trump's country. So a lot of us are kind of like, no, we don't want to see the rapping grandma.
Okay.
We don't want to see the rapping grandma right now.
Okay. The closest you're gonna get is a movie coming out that I'm gonna put a review out for. That Will Ferrell and Reese Witherspoon did. It's a comedy movie.
Oh yeah, that just came out. Yeah.
The chick from SNL and the Ghostbusters 2016.
Kate McKinnon.
Yeah, Kate McKinnon. She plays an old white lady. And it's the most old white lady shit.
You can stop talking right now. She is perfect as an old white lady. She gets it. Kate understands.
It's perfect. She's someone. Man, look. It again. Funny enough, we talk about Ernest Goes to Jail. It mimics how Ernest does like old white ladies. That's how perfect Kate McKinnon does it. It's like, oh my god, she nails this shit. Like
again,
yo.
You can do it. I think the problem is with a lot of people is that a lot of, especially at least with comedy, a lot of people don't want to put out comedy that offends too many people. That's the one thing that we got a lot. We got to also put in the fact that it is really hard to pinpoint what Gen Z on down thinks is funny. Yeah. At least for right now, it's kind of hard to. I think our generation has a problem with that too, because we range from everything of the super disgusting to
we're very yo-yo. We're yo-yo as fuck.
This, do we know what this is going to say? Don't we know that this is racist language that they're using?
What's the message? I don't get it.
What's the message, guys? Like, isn't this punching down? Like, and I get it. See what I'm saying? There's a lot of question marks when it comes to comedy, and you kind of got to walk a tightrope anyway. Yeah. And sometimes you have to commit to a bit. Oh, is this going to be offensive comedy? Well, here's offensive comedy for the rest of the thing. Is it going to be raunchy comedy? Good. Here's raunchy comedy for here. You know, it's hard. What I noticed is it's hard to do silly now without it going overboard with saying, like, you know what I'm saying? It's just a different time, man. So I
enjoyed it. Yeah, all I'll say is this. I always say, again, the pillars were basically Ernest Goes to Camp, Ernest Saves Christmas, this, and Ernest Scares Stupid. If there was 4 Ernest, watch those 4, and you will get a very much an understanding of why.
You don't have to watch nothing else no more, just those 4.
Just those 4.
Might be the 4. Those might be these might be the 4 that we will review when it comes to Ernest. So yeah.
So, but what we got when DJ Sue returns?
When he returns, we're going to have 2 episodes with him before he goes off to Japan. But within those, what we're doing next month is going to be Black History Month, and we're doing important black
That's right,
movies.
Trump. You can't take Black History a month away from us.
No, you can't. No, you can't. Now, yes, you can ban it out to school. I'm actually shocked that they ain't the first thing you did.
He went for the federal government on that shit, and federal government workers don't play that shit when it comes to
Juneteenth is going to be interesting.
They want to take away. They want to take away Juneteenth. And real talk,
I want them to. I want them to just to see the hypocrisy. I am here.
All the white folks are gonna be like, "You're taking away Juneteenth from us," and I'm like, "Y'all just want the day off. Don't play. Like, what are we talking about here?"
I'm sorry. You're gonna inform your black coworkers. You know what? They should take Juneteenth away from you the same way that we had to learn that we were free. Like, yeah, because that's the thing I keep on telling with people. When Juneteenth happened, not all black people knew about that. And we had to be told, we were told in sections. So the same thing should be told to y'all where y'all try to get off. What do you mean I wasn't off that day?
But D, to be fair, me being the fucking jaded asshole that I
Wednesday.
am, the jaded asshole that I am, I'm like, all right, you take away Juneteenth. Going ahead and just, wipe that Columbus Day off. Actually, you know what? Take it back. Wipe President's Day off. Just take that off. Just wipe that off.
I am ready. I am ready for the comeback of Columbus Day, not indigenous people. Columbus Day.
Oh, they're gonna go.
I want white people to bring it back.
The TikToks from them white folks is gonna be fucking hilarious. Where they're gonna be like, "Oh, Columbus Day is back!" Ha ha ha! You look at my TikTok, and I'm like,
"Oh, look at me! I'm dressed as Christopher Columbus." And you know what always gets me about that? Oh, look what I'm doing. I'm doing something so based. What do you think about it? I think you're dressed like a fucking racist. You're racist.
See, me being the asshole, I'm just gonna go full white, dress like a fag. If you tell me,
yeah, look, you're asking me. You're just asking me. You're asking one person.
It's the wrong person.
But the
Black History Month. Black History Month. Yeah.
But the next movie that we're doing is going to be something very, very important, something that needs to be brought to everybody's attention. Chris, when's it going to be about? When's it going to be about us? When's it going to be about Africa? You know what it is? When we going to get people on that fucking wall? Turn that Jungle Bunny music down. Fight the power.
I killed your music box. What are you gonna do? Yeah, do the right thing, man.
We're gonna have to talk about that scene.
Woof.
And I want us to go in. You're like, hey, yo, Spike, you didn't have to rub that ice all over Rosie Perez like that, nigga. You really did. Like I'm all for art, and yeah, she was down for the art, but the fact that she has horror stories of that scene makes me go, Spike. Really?
There was horror stories? I didn't know that.
Spike'll. Really? You did like Spike Lee always have been a creep. So that's all I can say.
Hey, look, that's what. Hey, so you telling me him and Quentin Tarantino or the Spider-Man pointing at Spider-Man, basically?
You know what? Look. I might have to investigate because all I know is that Rosie Perez.
If it's just the Rosie Perez in that one time, all right.
Tisha Campbell going to talk about like I ain't like dealing with this nigga in school days. He kept on
Jasmine,
trying to rub up.
Actually, all them light skinned women probably were talking.
All them light skinned women.
All of them.
We were doing Jasmine Better Blues. We were doing Mo Better Blues. This nigga was telling me we gotta do.
He said, "Hey, Redbone," and I'm like, "God damn, dude, really?"
I'm like, "Okay, Spike," and I thought it was fun, but he kept calling me that. You know how black women get. You can call them baby once or twice, but after that, it's like
that third one is where they like.
Listen to me. I understand you being sweet. I have a husband, and I have a husband, and you cannot speak to me that way. You know what I'm talking about? Jasmine got good and Southern. You know she got offended.
I felt so stupid. I should have picked up on it because I thought Whitley Gilbert came from like Alabama on some Southern Belle, Arkansas with some Southern Belle shit. I totally forgot her character's from Richmond.
Richmond, Virginia?
Dead ass.
Why does she has a Southern Belle accent and she's from Virginia?
Maybe she's from like fucking Charlottesville, I guess. Maybe.
Chris, that's too close to DC. We don't know nobody got that.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Like,
I feel like a flower that is wilting in the Delta heat type of mob.
I can only assume maybe in Virginia on the other side of the Blue Ridge Mountains, I guess. I don't fucking know. Like,
but that being said, I'm gonna let everybody know this that this February, like I said, how we're going to split it up. I can guarantee you, not only we're going to do that movie, y'all, we're going to do the right thing, but we're also planning to do Soldier Story, one of Chris's favorite movies. We plan to do one of my favorite movies that recently came out. They Clone Tyrone.
Oh yeah,
and we're going to do a movie that's very important to Black people and something that we really truly need right now. We're finally talking about Django this year. We're finally going to talk about Django Unchained, and we really fucking need that right now. And I told Eris, I need him when we talk about Steve. I need him to fully act when we do Steve. But Django's gonna be special for me because, like I said, I finally get to get that off. But whatever. But that is it.
That's Ernest Goes to Jail. Hope you guys enjoy it. I hope some of you youngins that listen to our show enjoy it too, and maybe partake in some Ernest movies. You know,
partake.
Hey, you know what I mean? Anyways,
whatever you do, don't go to Ernest Goes to Africa. I might have to review that by myself.
Yes, please.
That's that. You can tell that Jesse Jackson wasn't around for him to. Al Sharpton was busy that weekend. Let's just put it that way. Jim Varney's not a racist man. But John Cherry III might be
racist light.
Whatever. Anyway,
that is it, Paul. Peace.
No one main Vern.